hello, hello, my silky friends. How are you doing on Friday? Whoop, whoop, it's the weekend. Not for me. I have to work all weekend, but that's okay. That's my job. So yeah, I'm coming a little bit early because I gotta get up and all that stuff. Hope you're doing okay. Man, whoa, JP. Whew, I don't even know. Are there even words to describe this narcissist? I don't think there are. I would normally not be so spicy right at the get go, but I can't help it. Let me say hello to Buckeye. Hello, hello. Uh, Daniel Barry. Whoop, whoop. Carrie McCurley. Good to see ya. Elle Croft. I am so glad you're here. Let's see. Kathy Marchbanks. Good to see you. Um, Casey Face, good to see you. I love that name. Every time I see it, it makes me smile. Casey Face. It's a good one. Yes, Carrie, depraved mind, absolutely. And here's the thing. I might not be so hard on him if I had not been married to a narcissist myself. So they're very easy for me to spot now, unfortunately, after the fact. And I absolutely understand what Micah was going through. And man, I there is no one who deserves the law of reaping and sowing like JP does. And he's going after all of us. Man, yes, he is absolutely a maniac. He should be delusional. Let me tell you, usually I don't get a whole lot of trolls. I don't usually get a whole lot of stuff. It doesn't matter if I do. It's not going to stop me. It doesn't throw me off balance. But I want to tell you, since I've been covering the religious stuff and, JP, they've started now. I'm a small channel, but they've started with me. And also when I did the video on, what was his name? On Robert Morris and Tony Evans. Man, you get so many Christians. And I hate to use air quotes on Christians, but you might want to really rethink what you're saying and how you're acting, y'all. I know we all have our moments, but I cannot believe the amount of people that want to stand by and exonerate the guilty with no mention of the victim. And I'm going to do a whole video about that. Probably won't be alive, but that's the thing. The victims are the ones that are important. Not these money hungry, anything but godly pastors. And I use that word extremely loosely. So, yeah. Hello, Moonlight. Good to see ya. You're right, Alcroft. Somehow they all naturally go by the same playbook. Yep, those narcissists. So I'm going to get right into what all of the stuff. Man, there's so much stuff to look at. And like I said, JP, he is going after everybody. He's going after creators this week. Well, good luck. Most of us don't make squat. So, good luck with that. So this one, these are things from all over the internet, different stuff. I'm going to make this bigger for myself for just a second. Okay, this is from the Robbie Harvey. And this is, I'm sure you've heard it, but he says, I've known for weeks about this, but now have confirmation from other creators it's happening to them too. John Paul Miller is allegedly hiring random people. It's not really alleged anymore because you're going to see this. Allegedly hiring random people to dig up dirt on creators covering this story. This is critical because remember, he's allegedly fought his ex-wife over child support, claiming he can't afford it. Well, I can't do it as good as you, JP. I am not that good. I can't do your cartoon cry on the grass. If you've been contacted by John Paul Miller to dig up dirt, go to justiceformicah.com and submit the screenshots. Yeah, let's see. Hold on just a second. If you're uncomfortable doing so and wish to remain anonymous, then send them to me and I will submit the messages to the FBI and Allison's attorney. Well, I haven't gotten any of those, but dadgummit, I would love to have a chance to submit something to the FBI. Well, this is a text by JP, and we'll see more texts. Um, and this is where he said this. Well, we are losing thousands every week until lawsuits start working. Like I said, good luck with that. But I'll do $350 per social media person. So for every person you get me all their stuff, I can do $350. And if any of those people actually bring in money, I'll hook you up with 10% of what actually comes in from that particular person. Well, wow, JP. You're getting really mad that people are telling the truth. It would seem that makes you extremely angry. Again, as you see it scrolling across the bottom, allegedly. Uh, you know, here's the thing. He gets on TikTok and he makes it worse. And people are saying, JP, just shut up. You're making things worse. I'm not. I'm saying, JP, please go longer. Do more TikToks. I don't watch them. I watch them on other people's shows, so I don't give a click. But I think you are doing a bang up job of, putting yourself right in the slammer. So, go ahead. Go ahead, please. I think you're doing a great job of just heightening people's bad opinion of you. So, by all means, don't stop. Don't stop now. Um, let's see. Clergy does not excuse a person. A narc is a narc. Yes. Yes. It doesn't. And in that whole video I did, I showed you Acts 29. And then there's a passage in Timothy. Also, if you're going to talk about going by church laws, then you have to go by the Bible because that is the ultimate law for churches, right? Supposed to be. Supposed to be. Let's just take everything out of it. But when it talks about being a good steward and not a lover of money, woo, there goes 90% of your clergy. Whoo, gone. Now, there are some good people out there, and I have a great pastor. But look, I have had, in my long expanse of going to church since I was 8 years old, I've had more bad pastors than good ones, okay? So, I can say that. I'm not talking about something I don't know about. Not by Sight News is a good site. Yeah, I have actually watched his videos several times. I love this. So one of your 29 cars, JP, but he can afford it. Yeah, if you've got all that, of course, sell your stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he is Delulu. All right. So let's go back to where we were and let's look at the next stuff. Okay, here is a check. Now, I am not sure. This is circulating all over social media. Apparently, JP has paid, or somebody has paid. There's the $350. This is allegedly, but it is everywhere. And this is from the church. I'm not sure they have taken, blurred out the name that it was given to, and that's fine. But somebody out there's, busy digging up dirt. And if you look at the memo, though, that's what I find really interesting is this memo. It says benevolence. This is from your benevolent fund. Do y'all know what a benevolent fund is? Because a benevolent fund is something that the church has for people who are like in dire straits, like something happened, they lost their job, they had a huge health problem, medical bills, whatever, that makes them not be able to pay some other bills, like their lights, are about to get turned off or something like that. It's for needs of the church congregation. That is what your benevolence fund is. But just on that check, if that indeed is proven to be part of the dirt finding on different creators, then that is not a benevolence fund. But that's a good way to hide it. You can hide a lot of stuff in benevolence funds. I'd be curious to know. Maybe the FBI would be curious to know too. What all funds the benevolence has helped? Has it helped any of these women? I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Um, but there you go. Allegedly, this is what is going on. Now let's go to some more. And these are chat message or text messages. This is, as you see, at the top here on the left. It is from Trisha Ross, and they're talking about, church business, blah blah blah. But then it says, if you go down to the second one where these red lines are, it says, did you send that check for the $300? 350 it was, and that might have been what that check, I believe they are saying this is what that check is for, and probably the name of the person is what is blurred out here. And it says, I have it on my reminders for in the AM. You told me Friday, and I believe, and I was off today, so that must have been the holiday. Yeah. So then if you look at the very last one in the corner, the $300, again, I assume that's a name blurred out. I'll send you the address. Benevolence. That's the benevolence fund. Once again. So your church benevolence fund, I guess, is okay to dig up dirt on creators. Or maybe just their names and addresses. I'm not sure. Probably some dirt, but this is what you're trying to get people's names, addresses to sue them. And this is what your church benevolence fund does. I wonder if all of the people giving are okay with that. I'm telling you, first of all, I wouldn't be sitting in that congregation anymore. But if I had lost my marbles and I was still there, I would not be okay with that. Um, yeah, yeah, I agree, Hiawatha. Um, he is a joke. He's not. It's sad, really. It's sad because um he is so delusional. Honestly, he is so delusional, and so I feel like he is so far in his mental illness, which is not funny. Okay, not I'm really really upset about what happened to Micah and how he treated Micah and the whole 9 yards. But I'm sorry if you can hear the lawnmower guy outside. But he's close to the house now. Sorry. But yeah, like, still, I believe truly and sincerely that JP Miller has a mental illness, which we already know he takes lithium and stuff. So I feel like he has now, along with everything else, like he's just spiraling downward. And even though I'm okay with him exposing himself, you have to. I can't really say, I guess I can't say it's a joke. It's terrible. Is it deserved? Absolutely. He is Delulu, no doubt. Yes, Buckeye, he could always sell his airplane if things get tough. Yeah, Hiawatha, the benevolence, that is hard for me to say. Um, that fund is one of the things that's I hope it's being investigated by the FBI. Um, I don't know what all the rules are when it comes to church funds because they are probably a 501c3, but and tax exempt, but you still can't launder money. All right, that's still against the law. Um, hey, Linda Kay. Bad visual, him exposing himself. Yeah, I don't want to think about that either. We've seen enough. We've seen enough. All right, but let's go on. Now, this was interesting, and I know you probably can't see it. I don't know. I knew there was a document drop. I don't know if this is what they were talking about from Gavin Fish, because I was out when all that happened and I didn't actually see his. But check him out too. There are several creators out there with some good stuff. But basically, what this is, and I can't even get this big enough for myself to see, so I don't expect you to see it. But this was on the 17th, June 17th, I believe. And what this is, it shows the 3 pages. I probably have to read this off my phone, actually. Otherwise, I'm going to be too close to the microphone. So let me just pull this up. There was a incident at the church where basically this past Sunday, it doesn't say, I didn't see JP's name on here, but somebody from the church called the police and made a report about, the noise outside and that they couldn't hear and it was disrupting the service because of the protesters that were across the street. And so what this big yellow, on the far right, you'll see this big yellow box. And what it says is, oh no, this is on 6/9. 6/9/2024, responding officer Douglas was assigned to the Solid Rock Church for the service while a group of about 20 people protested across the street on the sidewalk. The protesters were shouting, "Justice for Micah," "You can't hide from the FBI," and "No church, no people." There were no threats made from the crowd towards the people of the church or the pastor that the officer heard of. There was loud chanting and lots of vehicles blowing their horns due to a sign that the protesters were carrying. From where the officer was standing, the protesters remained peaceful and did not come on the property of the church. So, basically that was that. The officer did not find any wrongdoing in this report. It also says, I think it's on the first page, that they were not that loud and they were not loud enough to disrupt the service. That was not true, according to the police. And of course, but I just thought it's interesting, I don't know. Why aren't the people of the church, well, I want to know why they're there, basically. But on top of that, I want to know, why is it okay to call the police when clearly they're not disturbing anybody? It is a protest. Is it aggravating if you were on the opposite side? Sure. But let's do the Christian thing on a Sunday and let's call the cops on our brothers and sisters, okay? Because you don't like what they're saying. Yeah. Mary Ann Foster, Truth is a Defense. Cross-complain for harassment, misrepresentation, etc. Also, he is using a nonprofit fund to fund a non-related matter. Good point. Yeah. There's so much wrong. With this. And, yeah, there are some scathing things that I'm going to bring to you from a Facebook post from one of his friends that, geez. Hey, Flat Earth, how you doing? Yes, Linda K. He is showing his true colors. Aren't you allowed to talk about him under your Constitution? Yes, absolutely, 100%. I agree with you, Carrie. At this point, it's no longer a church. It's a cult for crime. Yeah, it is. So many police reports, they would probably call the cops if a bird moved on the sidewalk. You're right. I mean, here's the thing. We're not talking about, you're mad because the church put a building or a fence 2 feet over the property line, okay? We're talking about somebody that lost their life, and I have a lot of questions about that. Let me just say this, and I don't have it pulled up, but I went on to Google Maps because I went. Remember, like I don't know, 3 weeks at least or more ago, I was telling you about a text or something that, or maybe it was a Facebook post that somebody put on there that said that there was a boat landing like in Fairbluff, which that town is kind of just destroyed, but there are some churches there. One seems to be active. There are two churches close to the Lumber River, and the police station is also right there. So this person was saying that potentially could he have said, I'll sign the divorce papers, and if you don't trust me, meet me at the police station. And then, it's right there. There's a boat ramp, and I've got it all saved on Google Earth, but it's in my Dropbox. But so I looked up, and maybe next time we talk about Micah, maybe Monday, I'll show you the whole, like, you can go straight from this church all the way. It's like a serpent. It just like it winds and twists a lot, but you can go straight from Fair Bluff by water to Lumber River State Park and back into that slough area. Now I don't know how deep it is. I don't know if you'd have to take a kayak. Depends, I guess, on the type of boat, but anyway, you can definitely get there into those backwaters where she was found. So, there's a big question. Did someone lure her out? Even Tom Winslow, he could have said, hey, this is allegedly, this is me thinking. He could have said, JP gave me, he's already signed the papers. I've got the papers. If you can meet me, I'm at my weekend house. I'm on my property. I'm up here at, close to Fair Bluff. If you'll sign the papers, we'll just get it done. Because JP's got to be somewhere else today. That could happen really easy. And she could say, well, look, I'm not meeting you or anybody, out in the middle of nowhere. Well, the police station's right there. It could have been, she pulled up to the police station and he said, hey, I walked over to the water. It's just a nice day. Yeah, whatever. It would be really easy. Really, really easy. Now, that's just my thoughts. I don't know that it happened that way, but it would have been easy to transport someone by boat from there. So it is a thought. Okay, and I'll show you all that from Google Earth. But if you can literally, if you want to do it yourself, you can literally go to Google Earth and Google the address for the Fair Bluff Police Department, and then all you have to do is you look at it from the sky, but you can see from street view how close it is to the boat ramp. It's like a block to the boat ramp and straight up the river. So yeah, I meant to go back and talk about that like a long time ago, but I got distracted with some other stuff. Hello, Just Robin. Sherry Faye, good to see ya. Yeah, so, but, with JP, there's always more. Have y'all been watching, by the way, have y'all been watching his TikToks? It's like, I think what I find so disturbing is that he sounds, not his voice, but his actual words, sound just like my ex-husband, the narc. So, it's almost chilling to see somebody use the same thing where they make everybody else think that you're crazy. You've got the problem, not them. And all they did was love you and, support you. And, like, look, ugh. Hey, yo, Leo. Good to see you. I would love to I'd love to ask you some questions about the civil part of this case, if they have to go civil. Because, I don't know anything, I know very little about the law, but Yoli is an attorney. So I would love to talk to you about that. Yeah, he has gone silent the last, day or so? He's gone silent. Yeah, I kind of hate it. I do, because he was just, making things so easy for us. All right, but let's keep going. All right, now here is another. I think this was on Twitter. So give this person some love, because I found this is not really related to the case, but it is related to his character. This is from Mandy Matney on X, I believe. And she references a podcast called True Sunlight, and I think I have heard of that, maybe listened to a few, so go check them out. It's on Apple. And but it says, in today's True Sunlight podcast, we dive deep into JP Miller's divorce documents, and of course, it was shocking. And y'all. Okay, if you remember, let me stop for just a second. If you didn't see this one that I did, that read out the complaints of Allison against JP and the original one and all this kind of stuff, but she had moved into a house, and when they were separated, and there was a tree. Remember the what is it? The tree. I can't think of the word. The whole brouhaha about the tree. Okay, the he tried to kill the tree with salt because he had rented a house across the pond, right? So he could like look in her house. So, but the tree was in the way of her house. Like he couldn't really see inside because of the whole, you know. So he's stalking her, Allison, and she's just trying to get away from this man. He's watching her every move like he did Micah. And so apparently at some point the man climbs up into a tree, falls out, and has some damage. Yeah. Oh, I was going to say tree gate. Yeah, tree gate. That was it. But so this is what this podcast is talking about. And y'all, I think it's hilarious. I don't know if you can see all of it. Let me make it. Let me see if I can get, because the next screen is hysterical to me. All right. All right, so this is on True Sunlight podcast. But this is the part where JP was in a wheelchair in court because he fell out of a tree, and when he asked what he was doing in a tree, he said, "In hopes of reconciliation." I'm sorry. Who climbs in a tree and tries to, it's a hope of reconciliation. The woman is trying to get away from you, and you being in a tree is stalking her is not helping. I can't with this man. Guys, for a second, imagine a woman saying this to a family court judge. You would think they would continue to take her seriously. Yeah, well, but people don't. So here is a part of just a little glimpse, okay, into this, and I'll read it out for you. The court says, okay, I see you're in a wheelchair. You have some bandages on your right foot. JP says, yeah, I fell out of a tree about 10 days ago. And then they're like, out of a tree? Yes, sir. Do you have any broken bones? Yes, sir. 5 in my foot and 2, I don't know what this was in your, oops, sorry about that, 2 and somewhere else, and my knee's messed up. So what's your prospects for recovery? And JP says, I'm hoping about 2 months. I'll be, okay by Christmas again. Okay, so what were you doing up in the tree? And JP says, everybody asked me that. If you don't mind me asking. And JP is like, I have to be honest with you. Okay. It was in hopes for reconciliation. And so the court's like, okay, that's okay. I don't, we just need to make sure the injuries don't prevent you from being able to work. And JP says, I'm not working right now. So I'm sorry, y'all. But I mean, Did he fall out of the tree on purpose? So he doesn't want to work and pay while they're going through this divorce? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But I'm telling you, if my soon to be ex or whatever person I'm trying to get away from is up in a tree stalking me, um, I don't know. I wonder if she called the police, but how ridiculous. Okay? How insane is that you're going to crawl in a tree and spy on your soon to be ex wife? It's Delulu. Delulu. Um, yeah. Let me go back and see what you are saying. Um, let's see. What are you? I'm not sure what you're asking about, Connie. Because I didn't see the first comment. But yeah, he did. He did go to well, that's the thing with missions. From day one, I said, y'all need to look at the mission fund because it is so easy to hide money there. You don't know. Especially when you're going around to a church and you're saying, hey, we're starting a school. If you have a churches that you're kind of affiliated with or friendly with, or you kind of visit theirs and speak and they visit yours, it is very easy to say, hey, we're starting a school in Kenya and, we're taking a special donation. Well, your church congregation, they don't know. Well, they don't even know how much came up in the offering until you tell them. But certainly, if you are soliciting donations from other places, so yeah, could he have been, I'm sure he was trying to, bring that to everybody's attention. Any kind of donations are always welcome in this kind of situation, right? Um, let's see. Did I see CJ's video showing Micah's 2-hour drive to the park? No, I have meant to watch it. Sorry. No, let's see, did I? I can't remember. It seems like, I take that back. It seems like I started watching it and then I had to stop. But I meant to go back. Thank you for reminding me. I did mean to go back and watch that. Yeah. And let's talk about somebody waiting for, because there have been all kinds of videos and stuff out this week. If you didn't know, the two guys that were in the pawn shop with her, and it shows the cars outside, and I've got those in my files somewhere. And then going down the road, it does seem that these people were following her, which, were they people who were just tracking her because JP really was in Charleston and, he had to, maybe the tracker was taken off, so he literally had people following her to see what she was doing? Or was this some kind of setup? We don't know right now. But that's been a big thing all over the place. But yeah, obviously going out of her way. Also, Wayne Miller's church, school, whatever, was also close to that convenience store. Not that far off. I think that was something that I covered like a long time ago too. And it might have been one of those obscure videos. I couldn't even tell you which one. But we did talk about that because everybody was asking in the beginning, for the first 2 weeks of this case, people were saying, why did she go out of the way? Well, I don't know either. 100%. I have theories, but also, you have two players. This is the thing. This is what gets sketched. You have two players that are in the area. You have Tom Winslow with property right there, up close to, not touching, but up close to Lumber River State Park. And then you have Wayne Miller's school. So could he have gotten a call from could she have gotten a call from either one of these people? Was there a reason that she needed to go up there, that one of them, kind of like put the bait out, divorce papers, whatever? I don't know. It's just odd that she goes that far away to do this to herself, which I really do not believe she did. But she goes all that way. I mean, she could have went in any direction. She could have gone to a remote spot on the beach. And yet you have two characters, okay? that are sketch, both of them. You see, it's little things like this that build suspicion. All right. If it was completely somewhere else, unrelated, we wouldn't be asking all these questions, then, would we? Yeah, he was in a wheelchair. Oh, from Magnolia. Yeah, the Magnolia tree. Thank you, Buckeye. Magnolia Gate. There you go. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Um, yeah, you need blackout curtains. I've got blackout curtains. I sure do. Uh, let's see. Yes, Carrie, when dealing with an arc, you have to laugh or you cry. Yeah. If you, let me just say this, if you have never lived with or had a close relationship to a narcissist, and you have no idea, like, it is a whole different world of crazy. The crazy knows no bounds. And most of the time, if you're not expecting it, you're caught off guard because you can't even believe that somebody is saying these things about you, or that they're doing this or that and painting themselves, as pure as the driven snow, when they're accusing you of the very things that they're doing. And worse. Like, wow. Wow. Flat Earth. Oh, I love that. I love that. Yes, Your Honor, I have a demon that makes me climb trees. With you, Flat Earth. That is hysterical. Oh my gosh. Yeah. How do you Catholics do reconciliation? And I don't know, which is odd because I have a whole lot of family members that are Catholic. Um, yeah, just Robin. I think he could have fallen out on purpose. Absolutely. Because if you don't want to pay money, okay, you don't want to have this income. You're mad. You're trying not to pay child support while you're in this in between. The divorce isn't final. You haven't gone to court yet. Whatever. You don't want to make these payments, which we know he doesn't. Then uh, you need to have an injury. He said he wasn't working because he fell out of a tree. Well, that's your own stupid fault. If you actually hurt yourself, I don't know. I don't know. Jeez. But like I said, I know it sounds to a normal human being who has not been in this kind of relationship, this sounds like something that is impossible. It's like a comedy movie, right? It's not real. People don't do these things. But let me assure you that a narcissist does. And even beyond this kind of shenanigans. There is literally no limit to what a narcissist will pull in this situation. Whoa. Yeah. Uh yeah, well, I mean, you can look, yeah, when he rolled on the grass, and I hope that was an act. I mean, but look, the thing about narcissists is sometimes they get really upset and they cry real tears, and they are heartbroken. I'm not really sure they know where their heart is, but um they do all these antics to to show and how much distressed they are, because sometimes they really feel that, but it's nothing for them is real. That's what you have to understand. The love that they say they have for you, it's not real. And neither is any of the other stuff. They don't know how to love, okay? They don't. Not properly, not for real. So they do a whole lot of stuff, all right? Um, let's see. Um, I don't know if I'm the first one. I said it a long time ago. I said it weeks ago when I was probably around the time I was looking at the LLCs that who knows don't exist. What kind of businesses are these? All these LLCs that have no real presence. Where to me that screams money laundering or nefarious activities, okay? Um, and I did a couple of videos on that. So Wayne loved the state parks? I mean, if you love state parks, then you definitely are familiar with where to go, right? Yeah. I love state parks as well. But, this is where people mess up. I ain't even going to say it. Look, if you're going to, yeah, some criminals need to be smarter, but I'm glad they're not, because then we'd never catch them, right? Um, Johnny Jacobs. I tried so hard, Flat Earth, not to assume, not to try to believe, okay, what was being said by Johnny Jacobs. But I'm telling you, I can't. There's so many, and I think I talked about it recently, but there's so much. You don't take a purse. You don't hear a gunshot and steal a purse. He didn't steal it. He brought it back. But probably because of what happened. Why you're up there in the slough, could you be fishing? Possibly. It's really odd timing. The other people involved. Look, there's so much about that. Coming back with a different car. But I don't know that he's involved. I mean, it could be that he literally just wanted to steal a purse and then got caught up in the middle of something he it was way over his head that he had nothing to do with. But then again, uh, coincidence. Do I believe in coincidence? Not usually. Um, yes, yeah, you do feel when you're with a narcissist, you feel like you're the crazy one. Yeah. Hello, Southern Blessed Mama. Good to see ya. Um, let's see. I'm behind on your chat. Yeah, you're right. People who have never lived it would never believe it because normal human beings don't do that stuff. That's true. Um, what happened? Oh, there we go. Linda K, you're so funny. Churches must be wheelchair friendly. He obviously didn't hurt his mouth. No, but that was a few years ago. No. And right, if y'all didn't know this, this is something else that came out some weeks ago. Wayne was arrested, that's JP's dad, for exposing himself to an undercover cop in a state park. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he loves those state parks. They make him frisky. Yeah, again, why is that man still in ministry? His record was expunged. If you haven't heard that before, Wayne Miller, he got caught with fraud and all kind of stuff. All right? Like he was so deep in it and he had his record actually expunged. Yeah. So there you go. I don't know who does that for a grown man with all this stuff. Why? How could they do that? I don't know. You know somebody. That's how it gets expunged. You have connections and probably money as well. Um, Connie, Micah could have went to collect donations for her mission. Um, it could be. There could be a lot of people talking about the cash in her purse. Um, a lot of people have speculated that maybe it was to pay for a divorce, which it would be extremely cheap divorce, but maybe something like that, an extra, give me $500. I need it. I'll sign the papers. I don't know. You know, it is an odd amount to have, and that is a lot of cash to carry because you're going to work. What are you going to do with that cash? You don't want to leave it in your purse, or you're going to leave it in the car. What are you going to do with that cash? It's not, most people don't even carry cash anymore unless they are going to do something with it right then, within a couple of hours. You are right. Narcissists always happen to have connections to people in high places of influence. Police, lawyers, judges, doctors, money, etc. in their network, which That's how they pull off this crap. Yeah, 100%. Um, and you know why? A lot of because a narcissist is such a likable person until you know them. Like, you love them. They are the nicest, sweetest, most supportive, wonderful person in the world. And as long as you stay on that outer perimeter and you don't know them, you will continue even for years to believe that this is one of the best people on the planet. So when they have narcissists keep people in positions of power and, influence, they build that network because those people will say, well, I've known JP for the last 15 years and JP would never do that. That's because you only think you know JP, or just insert the name of your narcissist here. You think you know them because you've seen them do a lot of good things and they've always been good to you. And, you know, you don't know them because when you're on the inner circle and they start exposing themselves and taking their mask off, they're 180 from what everybody else sees. So, yeah. I had a question about that lock on her bag. How did he open it? Me too. I haven't heard much about that. And why do you have a lock on your bag? Unless she put it on there because of work, just wanting to be safe, trying to make sure that if you had to, that's even for your debit cards and car key, all that kind of stuff. Hello, Sody Mode. I like that name. Micah's belongings got left in the boat when the body was dumped. He removed the boat from the scene to destroy evidence. Ah, that is a very good theory. And realized her stuff was still in the boat. Never expected Law to be there so quickly. Excellent, excellent theory. It it wouldn't surprise me. Not one bit. Not one. Yes, Wayne Miller did do some time. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Texas Patty. They have a state park fixation. Makes a person wonder. South Carolina seems to expunge a lot of criminal behavior. That is very interesting. Yeah. All right. Blackmail. All right, I'm going to go on. Yeah, because we've been going for a little while here. And I'm going to come back to your comments. But let's look at some more stuff. Okay, so this was just, I didn't want to pull up this whole article because it's really, it really just goes over things we already know, except this. I didn't know this. I knew that there was some battles over her property and et cetera, et cetera. But this is from the Post and Courier. JP Miller, who has publicly said he wants to disprove all the lies about his marriage to his late wife, recently asked the court to seal records of her family's case against him. Now, why would you want to do that, JP? JP Miller, 45, is in a separation case with representatives of Micah Miller, who passed away on April 27th. Through his attorneys, the pastor of Solid Rock at Market Common filed a motion on June 11th to seal all court records, including pleadings, motions, orders, affidavits, and exhibits and other documents pertaining to this case. Well, there's probably a lot of reasons for that, but one of the big ones would be too, because you know what we like to do, all of us creators, when we're digging into a case, we like to read the documents. We like to get them from the court. We like to show them to the public. We like to read through them and explain to people what is going on and what this person is saying and what that person is saying. We all do it. And the problem is that would be really bad news for JP. There is already so much horrible information about him out here. Let's look at the court records. No, he wants them sealed. I hope that he does not. Y'all, I don't know. I just heard about that, and that was I don't know, what, 10 days ago? I didn't know he had filed that. I knew that they were trying to get her name back, and they absolutely should. In my opinion, that should be granted. I knew there was a lot of, stuff going on, but I didn't know he wanted the record sealed, but that doesn't surprise me. Yeah. So this is long. This is a long one. Let me come back to your comments for just a second before, because I'm not going to be able to see you. Let's see. Melanie Lynn. I think someone said, if you don't feel safe coming here, buy a gun with your credit card, and when you get here, I'll give you the cash. There is one at Dick's Pawn for $4.99, and it's a SIG. Oh, that is a very good theory, too. Wow. Yeah. Possibly. Is that what she was doing with the money? I don't know. It certainly makes sense. I mean, I definitely think that there is a reason that she had that much cash. Did she think she was going to have to use it for, the gun or for something else? And then she didn't. And then, she was just going to deposit it again. I don't know. But I can tell you one thing. If I'm running around with $500 cash, it's because I am going directly to somewhere to purchase something or whatever, that I have to, because everything I do is on a card. If I have to use cash, it is definitely because I am, maybe I'm buying something off Marketplace or whatever, and they don't want to use Cash App or whatever, and they're like, bring cash. That's the only time you're going to see cash. Otherwise, I don't have it. I often wonder if the fishy fisherman, like that, the fishy fisherman, took her body back there in JP's boat that's at the lawyer's land. It could happen. Again, it's an odd area when you have sketchy people in the air, in that region. When you're from South Carolina and you go all the way up to a state park to unalive yourself, but you got a sketchy attorney, you got a sketchy ex-father-in-law. I'm just saying. The whole thing is a little bit fishy. Yeah, Jay, you are completely right. Whatever you do, don't criticize or question a narcissist. That's a huge trigger for them. They show their true evil self. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? What's scary about it is the person that you thought you knew that has been like great. When you hit that one trigger with them and you disagree or you upset them, you criticize them in any way or say something that makes them feel criticized. Boom. Whoa. And it's a complete, you don't even know who you're looking at. And, this is really bad news for an empath because we like to settle things down and smooth it over and make everything okay, which is why the narcissist and empaths have a love-hate relationship, and I never want to be in another one. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Yes, yeah, I agree with you. If he did nothing wrong and wants to clear his name, then he wouldn't want the record sealed. Of course, you would be saying, 100%, you would be saying, hey, I want to be completely transparent here. You look through all my financials, you look through the church, you look through, blah, blah, blah. I want all of this to be public record because I have nothing to hide. But he doesn't want that. Well, all the other things that he says, all these lies, what he said on TikTok? These are lies that people like, buddy, hello, knock, knock. We have the receipts. We've seen the police videos. Of you stalking her. We've seen the text messages. Like, we've seen the paperwork. Like, hello. But here again, a narcissist will absolutely gaslight you and say, no, that didn't happen. That's not true. You're not remembering it correctly. I've got receipts that show, I've got documentation to like, look, that is classic narcissist behavior. And it is really scary, honestly, that he is going this far outlandish. It, he's like really top level. Congrats, JP. You're top notch, top notch, top notch narc. You're doing it really well. I can say that really, really well. Congrats. All right. Let's see. Yeah, all the police reports are on YouTube. So yeah. There was not, Alan Coker, there was not an autopsy. And this is something that I have covered, even early on, very, very mad. And even on the last time I talked about the corruption in Robeson County, like, look, the history, even recent history, the history of corruption in Robeson County, I mean, it's quite a show. Quite a show. And so, you look at that and clearly, they did not do their jobs correctly. Now, was that because they thought was JP or somebody, I don't want to say allegedly, were they influenced by JP or Wayne or Tom or somebody not to do this? Or are they just inept? I don't know. One way or the other, it was not done, and terribly. Like, could you have been any worse at your job that day? Like, really, could you? I don't think you could. So no, we don't have an autopsy. And I believe the reason that they are working with the FBI now is after all this came out, and I don't think anybody expected it to be a nationwide international case. And so now it's getting all this attention. And, Robinson and police are like, holy crap. It's like damage control. You hear the sirens. Okay, boys, stop. The only thing we can do now is bring in the FBI and, make ourselves look okay. Like we're legit. So yeah, I don't know. Was it pressure, or was it was it your inept? I don't know. It wasn't that. I could give you a little bit of a pass if it was summertime. It's like in the South. It's hot, you're tired. God, the humidity, you can't think straight. But it wasn't. Okay? So that ain't gonna fly either. Not that it ever should. Let's see. Okay, we're talking about content creators. Hey there, Four Pits. Good to see ya. So why was brand new gun with the bent barrel in photos really bent? I don't know. That's a good question. That is a good question. I really don't know. I wish I could give you an answer on that. Melanie, you think that whoever lured her gave her the 500? Possibly. Again, could it be the other way around? JP or his representative saying, and Micah saying, hey, I need money. Hello. And them saying, okay, I can give you 500, but you're going to have to meet me where I'm at. Yeah. True, Texas Patty. We only know about the money because the fishy fisherman said it was there. Yeah, did the police ever say it was there? I don't know. Did the family confirm that? I don't know. And Alan Coker is saying, wasn't it actually 2,500? Geez, I've never heard that. 4 Pits. Nothing I enjoy more than toying with a narcissist. Want to tell you something, 4 Pits? You probably have a big old time in Carroll County, Indiana, don't you? You can't swing a cat without hitting one of those. Yes, that was always the thing for me, Jay. This was always the thing. It's just too much of a coincidence that she said if she was found unalive by a gun, it would be JP. 100%. Who says that and then goes and does that thing? I mean, come on. I mean, you would have to say she, planned it to pin it on him, but I don't think she was that kind of person. So there you go. Uh, yeah. And the gun being found 40 feet away. Was it 40 feet? I knew it was a substantial amount. Yeah. It makes no sense. It didn't make sense from day one. Um, all right. Let's see. But for the phone call for to 911, it seems like Ellie may have investigated her passing as a, can I say homicide? Um, yeah, but one of the things, and even this was something else I had pulled up, according to the South Carolina Code, all right, and I looked at that, it says very clearly on there that really it's up to their discretion, but they make a big deal about that kind of unaliving. It most likely needs to be investigated. Now, in South Carolina, if you're a minor, it has to be. It has to 100%. You have to treat it like that in investigation. If you are an illegal adult, they don't. It's up to their discretion. However, they make a big deal about saying how so many things of these are staged to look like that, that is probably a good idea to investigate. So, there is, and you have to think about this. There is literally, let's just say, allegedly, hypothetically, JP wants to off his wife because she's leaving him. She knows too much. She's a liability. She knows a lot about the money and probably about a lot of stuff we don't even know about yet. And so she has to be taken out of the picture. There is literally no other way to do this without getting yourself into a investigation, a homicide investigation. You cannot keep yourself out of it being the ex-husband or soon to be ex-husband unless it is a self-harm type deal. You see what I'm saying? That is the only safe way. Not that it's safe, but you couldn't do it like if she had a car accident and her family's like there was nothing wrong with her car, they could have it inspected where the brake line's cut, all these kind of things. There are other people that would have to be involved, and it would be easier to say this was not an accident, or somebody like look at all these cases that we see of, people for hire to unalive somebody. I mean, people get busted like that. Literally, the safest way to do that would to have them do it themselves. I mean, it's just a thought. I don't think she did, but that might be the reason that they went this direction. Um, yes, good point. That fishy fisherman lied like JP. They must be buddies. Why did Fishy erase his call log? Yes, why did he? Call JP, perhaps, along with Charlie. Here's the thing. Yes, it's very sus. Why are you erasing your call log? That is huge. Come on. Has no one gotten the phone records, taken his SIM card, whatever? Sent that, but they're not looking at him. They're just looking at him as, from what I understand, it's just somebody who was there who's a witness to this tragic thing. But, there's too many questions, and I definitely think that should be highly questioned and checked out. Because you can still recover all that. We've seen that with so many cases. Yes, Jay, she had to map herself to there just minutes before. Yeah, why are you going to do that? That means if you have to map yourself somewhere to Lumber River, then that means you are not comfortable. If you are going to, like, what if you get there? You don't know. If you don't know how to get there, how do you know where to go and commit this kind of act? You're just going to be wandering around. You're going to be driving around hoping that nobody can see you, but you want to still be on, somebody be able to find you. Like, it makes no sense. None of it. This whole method is not what a woman does. And she doesn't sit down in nasty water in a slough and do this. Women do not unalive themselves this way, period. Period. Somebody didn't do their homework. I don't know if the family can request that, Alan. Gertie Music, who has Micah's phone? Is it the family now? That's a good question. They got her property, but then JP had her necklace, so I don't know. I wondered that question myself. I'm glad you asked that. All right, let me read to you this gem. And I'm going to throw this up so you can read it all, and I can't see your comments right now. All right, this is from Ty Longerbeam on Facebook. From what I understand, what he posted, he is a friend, former friend of JP's maybe. So this is lengthy, but it is a good read. All right, I believe the saying goes, quote, getting a taste of your own medicine, unquote, and I mean that quite literally. You have used and abused for way too long, only to get up on that pulpit and consistently discredit your victims by airing out intentional, degrading, inappropriate personal information. Doing that allows you to control the narrative. Now, we have the unaliving of your wife that you claim only took her life because of mental illness. The fact is, nobody was ever mental until they met you. You are the common denominator in all of this. This video is only proof that you yourself have issues and you know what medication can do to someone. Imagine being in a vulnerable state like this and being met with control, manipulation, and shame. What's the long-term effect on that? Now add abuse on top of that, all forms that may apply. Who can handle that? Yet you were met with a soft tone and a water bottle that you didn't deserve. Now this is talking about when he was on the grass, that infamous grass video. JP, I could have done this anonymously, but I want you to see it's coming from me, so you don't go after anyone else. You know I've got receipts, and you know I'm not scared. I've never met anyone like you, but what I have learned and been taught is people like you repeat their behavior, and every so often they slip up and show who they really are. Sometimes they even type it in an email. I think it's abundantly clear that you haven't been held accountable for any of your actions over the years, and I never hit the recycling bin. Ooh, that's spicy. Solid Rock, let me introduce you to your pastor. You don't see this version on Sundays. This is the guy you allow to give you and your family counsel. This is the guy you give permission to speak into your life. The guy you share personal, vulnerable information with that he will use against you when and if you question him. It's time to really take a step back and evaluate what's going on. JP, you are a complete poo stain to all of the other pastors that truly desire to lead people to the Lord. You are a liability to the Christian faith and anyone that you set your eyes on. The reason why most people didn't speak up the first time is because they know your reaction is ruthless and you have a little bit of local power with enough financial resources to hurt people legally, and they fear putting their family at risk. And the few others that don't speak up believe it's not the Christian thing to do. Well, neither is doing nothing. I also believe Jesus flipped over some tables. So, here we go. You've already had the chance the first time around for a time of healing, counsel, and guidance pursuant to our governing instrument. The second time, your reverend had to give that same PR speech to a church body. Yet you chose to smack every former member in the face that would have supported you if you got the help you need. So please don't mistake this video as a broken man who misses his family. This is a twisted individual using one of his many tactics to manipulate his way back into control. But his target didn't let that happen. She kept her foot down, and you changed gears and got nasty. Over the years, his ways to manipulate have only gotten more effective with precision. To the ones who are the reason I'm involved, I won't name. I hope you understand why I had to do this. Enough is enough. Some want to erase awareness, and most want justice. Internet, do your thing. Now, I have read parts of that before, but it just felt like it needed another good reading after all JP's shenanigans and threats and paying money to creators, and, as if we're making this stuff up. We are literally just out here getting the evidence and putting it out in the public. Finding evidence here, finding evidence there, and bringing it to your attention and saying, hey, this is the guy that we're dealing with, and what about this, and what about that, and this doesn't make sense. We're not out here saying anything that we're not showing you. So, of course, your MO is you're going to go after people. So, I felt like it was a good read through. Yeah. Samantha, hold on, Samantha, what were you saying? Not denying JP is a total waste of oxygen. But Micah could have been trying to buy an illicit freedom stick with cash and got. Well, she did. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe. She did get one though. What did you call that? Freedom stick. I like that. I like that term. I've got to try to put it in my dictionary of YouTube words to use. Freedom stick. Yeah, so there you go. He's just so delusional, and if there wasn't someone, if Micah wasn't in the situation, the final situation that she's in, which, actually, I'm sure she's great. I really am. I'm sure she's great. She's with God, and she's mostly away from JP. But if it weren't for that, I would honestly say this is here is a man that is a total train wreck. And as this escalates, I hope that people are watching him. I mean, look, I haven't even gone there with the DeLorean and the Spider-Man suit. Because all the days that was coming out, I was working and I was just rolling my eyes saying, oh my God, what kind of person does this? Clearly an attention-seeking one, Oh, if you're gonna talk bad about me, you're gonna do all this. I'm gonna be a superhero. I'm gonna run around in my Spidey suit. Oh my God, who does that? A narcissist. Narcissist does that. But I honestly think if someone is not really watching him, I don't know what JP will do. All right, especially as when he sees that this is not working, okay? His receipts that don't exist because there's already so many reports. When this does not work for the narcissist, it gets worse and worse, and they're going to keep escalating. And, it wouldn't be out of entire possibility for him to do the same thing that supposedly Micah did. However, Narcissists don't usually do that because they do think too highly of themselves to harm that way. But I don't know what he will do. Like, I think that if somebody doesn't calm him down and he doesn't come to some kind of realization that he's in hot water and he needs to check himself in somewhere and get some deep therapy, really. And that would probably keep him out of the spotlight. And that would, in my opinion, that would be the best thing for him. Not because I'm trying to be mean, because he needs it and he needs to not keep escalating. Because as he throws out this stuff and they say, yeah, um, as he's throwing this stuff out in his head, he's going to prove it to you. And when he realizes he can't, it's going to come crashing down. And that can be dangerous. Dangerous. Um, just Robin. I honestly hope she's haunting the daylights out of it. Same, Robin. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, what are we talking about, Jay? Okay, I don't I know who some of this is about. Okay, that is a whole nother case. And that is a whole nother case that I don't cover anymore. I'm going to go back and see what you're talking about. All right. I'm not going to say, for y'all who do watch my Delphi stuff, I'm not going to say I'm never going to cover it. I will cover major events, the trial, and anything important that comes out. But it is so bad and so toxic that I'm out. 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 Did I say out? I'm out of Delphi. Um, yeah. So I don't even know everything that you're talking about, but I mean, I probably do. I just haven't been able to read it. All right. So what do you think? Um, let's take it. Let's take a guess. Gonna? Is he gonna just keep escalating? Is he gonna get? I mean, once you've driven a DeLorean and a Spider-Man suit, and you've gotten on TikTok, and you have been trying to pay people to get dirt on creators, and then you say at one quote he said he was going to be rich with all the lawsuits. Once you have escalated to this point, do you think he's just going to keep going up, or do you think something's going to happen and he's going to crash? Or are we going to see him back in somebody's yard, like he was, and then starting from the bottom? I mean, with the narcissist, it's a cycle. So what do y'all think is going to happen? Um, Jay, yeah, I could tell you were talking in code, and I understood most of it. Uh, that's why I'm staying out. I'm staying out. No, no. I know a lot of stuff, and I don't want to know. I know a lot of stuff about what's going on now that I don't want to know. I don't. Because people tell me things, they send me things, and I'm like, so, my lips are sealed. I'm out. Um, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to end this. I hope I wanted to cover some other things. Um, I wanted to cover updates, and I'll just tell you, Robert Morris, if you didn't know, if you saw that whole video about, the whole mess with, was it Gateway Church? Not Gateway. Yeah, not Gateway. God, what is it? I don't know. There's too many churches, too many ministers, so called, that are just like going crazy. Robert Morris, from wherever he's at, that I did the whole video on, he did officially resign. Man, did I get flack, not slack, in the comments about. I got mad. I get a little spicy. I'm not sorry. But yeah, next time I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna answer anybody. But he did resign officially from his church. I don't think, and this is just my opinion, I'll say it again probably sometime, don't think he should have been let to resign because, the same thing, and I don't understand why Solid Rock hasn't terminated JP. I understand he owns the building, but they should have terminated him. Just like Robert Morris, they let him resign. Well, that is really not standing up for anybody, is it? No, it's not, because you're letting them resign because they had a moral failure with a 12-year-old. Hello? No, you should have been terminated. If you were living, good God, if you were working for a company and you had children in your care, or you were running an after school program and you did this, to a 12-year-old, the first thing that would happen is you would go to jail and you would definitely be terminated. But the church is different because we all love and forgive. You know what Jesus said? Just gonna throw this out here. Jesus said it's better for a man to take a millstone and hang it around his neck and be thrown in the ocean than to offend one of the little ones. But yet, we're okay with this, just like with Micah Miller. We're okay, some people, with letting the victim go voiceless because we are going to protect the celebrity pastor. It's horse pucky. All of it. All of it. Yeah. And there was, what? Look, like I said, I live under a rock. And once I started looking into that, guess what comes up on my feed? And I've seen so many other pastors of mega churches in the last couple of years. Same thing or something very similar. I'm like, no wonder. No wonder I stay to myself. Yeah. So, that is what Jesus says about offending. And you have to remember, Micah wasn't 12, but she was 15 when the grooming started. I'm sure that okay, this is just me. This is a theory because I understand. I know pedophiles. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that word. Chomos. I understand. No, I don't understand their thinking, but I work with them and I have dealt with them all my life. Chomos. They're gonna do some things before they actually, like, it all leads up to it. Do I think that, in my opinion, theoretically, JP would have done highly inappropriate things while she was still a minor? Yes, I do. Because that's what chomos do. That is their MO. They can't help it. And add that to narcissist to that, and it's like, well, you can get away with it. Why do you think Robert Morris got away with it? And all these other ones, the long list of predators. Dang. All right. I'm done with my rant, I guess. But I just wanted to catch up on that kind of stuff and let you know what's there. I have some more catching up to do on some other cases, Riley Strain and some others. But in the meantime, I hope y'all have a great weekend. Try to get this kind of crap off your mind, honestly. Honestly, have a good weekend. Spend it with your families. Hug your families tight. Enjoy it. Watch something funny. Get your mind off this stuff. Stay safe. Whatever you do, just stay silky. Okay? Bye-bye.